Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you all for coming along. Tonight is the first of 4 nights that we're hosting across the basin. The funds raised during my walk would have put on a bit of a night in communities and have some great conversations. And then Beef It Up Australia and the Horizons Foundation put together the bands, and we're all sort of making the most of it. Tonight you can donate $5 to Beef It Up Australia, and they will extend this to another town somewhere else on any particular reason or region. And so anyway, enjoy your night. We'll have a bit more of a chat about what I'm passionate about and why I do this, and why I walked around the caves. But anyway, enjoy yourselves. Huck's going to do a bit of a set, and then we'll have Flemmo later on, who's the comedian, and then we'll really ramp up with Jason singing. Anyway, thanks guys. Enjoy your meal.
And make the most of out there, yeah. Sometimes barely making ends meet. And yes, it's easy to drive on through this town. You just keep rolling through, life won't slow you down. But if you could take the time and pay a little down the line, maybe you could help turn someone's life around. It's just another main street, just another town. And it's a long, long way from the city and sea to the land of the scrub and the iron bark tree. Oh, I drive my youth down to the stream. Is this the end of the station? The end of the dream? There used to be water here in this hard and cracked old bed, but now the river runs dry. The river runs red.
Huck Richards, give it up for Huck, everybody. Just before we kick off the rest of the entertainment for tonight, if nobody knows, my name's Timothy May. We are here tonight all thanks to the Australian Horizons Foundation, Let's Get Rural, Beef It Up Australia, and Lloyd Polkinghorne with Lloyd's Walk for Water. Woo! Now, without Lloyd doing his walk 303 kilometres, was it from Barham, Lloyd, to the Hume Dam?
Correct.
It was?
Yeah.
So we've only got one mic at the moment. Now, without Lloyd doing his walk and raising money for awareness for the water situation, as well as for the farmers, the rural communities and the local towns along the Murray River, as well as the Murray-Darling Basin and beyond, funds also went in to help it in tonight from the Australian Horizons Foundation, Let's Get Rural project that myself, Anita Donlan, Justin Fleming, our local comedian tonight, and Huck Richards have all done our best to raise the funds to bring this to you tonight for you lot and to give everybody a good night out. So Lloyd, I know you went through about 700 pairs of shoes on your walk. How were your feet at the end of it, mate?
They weren't too bad, mate. They sort of they settled in eventually. I did get some pretty ripper blisters, but yeah, all in all, I survived better than I thought I would.
I know you might have survived, mate, but I know Lauren and your daughters. Yeah, it was some of the headaches and the heartaches that you might have gone through, not only on the walk but through the weather, seeing what farmers have gone through in districts not your own, as well as people coming up to you saying, "G'day mate, well done, we're backing you." All the farmers getting along their gates and offering you a drink. And I also know that you had something special built for Lauren to tow along behind the car, and it wasn't a caravan for somewhere to sleep. You tell us all about that one.
Thanks, Timothy. Yeah, no, we had a bar built. a portable bar. So I thought that was the most practical. Part of the reason why I was doing the walk was to actually get people to talk to me about their stories. One of the things under the Basin Plan is that they have essentially labelled everyone who offers resistance as greedy irrigators, and it's very divisive. Yet most of these people are family farmers who, soldier settlers, descendants of those who have been raised in the districts. They actually started most of the land care groups. They started, CMAs. They were on their boards and all the rest of it. And for whatever reason, our government has decided to rape and pillage the mid-Murray of the Riverina and also destroy the Darling and Menindee systems. Now, they are actually robbing the future of our food law. They're robbing the future of our environment, of our ecosystems. They're actually saving the Murray. If anyone, has been following along, Peter Garrett danced at Barham saying, we're going to come in, we're going to get this plan in, we're going to save the Murray. Well, the plan to save the Murray has eroded 5 to 7 metres of the Murray in front of my house. So I don't know how much, saving they're doing. So we decided we'd go for a walk. I thought, no, this is enough. Every time we try to do anything, you just get shot down. There's multi-million-dollar propaganda machines that the government are running, all looking after their little baby, which is fundamentally flawed, doesn't follow best available science. It has a $2 billion unregulated water trading industry. Don't even need an ABN. You can go and trade water against a farm. So that's what our governments, collective governments, all sides, state and federal, they're all in the same bucket. So we thought we'd walk across and just document, talk to people, and just show them that someone cares, because this has been going on for a bloody long time, and there's a lot of people worn down over it. So anyway, we walked along. I was doing 20 k's a day. I wasn't very fit. Those of you who know me, I had a brain injury in 2013. Yes, 2013. Anyway,
when you said you weren't very fit, I'd have a look, mate.
I am slowly losing my cushion. So when I have a brain injury, I actually put on 50 kilos in 12 months. So if you want to get a new wardrobe, it is one sure way to do it. So anyway, I've been through an amazing array of things. I developed post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, a whole range of things that we as a collective society go through and often suffer in silence. And that's what's been happening in our districts. The mental health rates and all the rest of it are skyrocketing. It's all documented. You can find it readily available. And so I thought I'll go and talk to these people and listen to their stories, and most amazing experience. The kids and Lauren came along. They had to sit in the unit 4 k's an hour for 5 hours a day. So big sacrifice on their part. The unit didn't have aircon. It was the end of November. We had some 40-degree days. That was a bit challenging on the tar. We even had thunderstorms. We had some cracking thunderstorms. There was one stage we were camped, and the only dry spot was actually on top of. We had like a centre bar within the bar structure. The only dry spot was if you sat on top to eat your dinner. But anyway, it was we met a whole range of people, from people who love their environment to some ladies at Cornwall invited us in for morning tea. There wasn't a harsh word the whole trip. People stopping, trying to get me cheeseburgers and all sorts of things. Not exactly the fuel for the engine that I required, but I was very grateful. And that they didn't know me from a bar or so. I was just a stranger walking through their communities. Those who had sort of followed a little bit along had done amazing things. A whole silage stack at Finley had been planted as a welcome to town for me on my walk. Anyway, but it was heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to hear people that have been on the land for 4 and 5 generations and cared for their land only to be undermined by the very people who should protect them. And at the same time actually destroy the ecosystems and land around us. And that's happening across the basin. We've got the guys here who did the Darling Barker trip. They've just sailed down the Darling and spoken to the communities where their kids were getting poisoned because of the water quality. That's 6 hours up the road. This is 2021. I don't know whether any of you have listened to the life expectancy rates of Will Canyon. It's like 38 for an Aboriginal male and about 40 for an Aboriginal female. That is horrendous. And we're all jumping up and down about climate change, which may or may not be with us, maybe human introduced, may not be. But we're forecasting out, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. This stuff's happening now. Anyway, I thought it's time to do something about it.
Definitely not. Lloyd, that is an achievement and a feat on its own. As you said, for somebody that suffered an acquired brain injury, to get out there, not only to put your own peace of mind at rest, but also mental health issues as well, to go with what you had doing, and Lauren and your girls. Plus also on top of that, to get out there and walk 303 kilometres. I still can't believe you never changed your shoes and socks in that whole bloody walk. And I know, not far towards the end of it, we're not far out of Albury as well. Anita and myself, we actually surprised you and stopped behind you. Lauren knew all about it. It was all a secret from you. Anita got out and she walked, I think, about 5 steps with you, and she said, "No, I can't do this, it's too hard, it's too far for me to walk." And she said to me, "Get your backside out of the car, walk beside Lord." So I think I walked for you about 5k. And even though I was hobbling because I had an ankle injury, I still got out there and done it. And mate, a testament to yourself, because I know you've done a lot of training to get out there to do those 20k's a day. You had a lot of hardship, a fair bit of heartache and a few tears, a lot of live videos that we've seen on Facebook all over the place about your walk and what you were doing and why you were doing it. And imploring people that you didn't even know to get behind you and sponsor and donate towards the cause to save the water, not only for us, but our future generations and their generations after that. Mate, you're an inspiration not only to everybody here, the future, and myself, but to your own family and your daughters. For what you've gone through, mate, I tip my hat to you.
Very appreciative of your kind words, and I think it's super important to realise that we are all human, we are all fallible. Those of you who listen to my Australia Day speeches this year will understand I talk about people as souls rather than people, because souls takes away the division that everyone tries to put us in, whether it be race, religion, whatever. If you talk about an Australian soul, well, we're all equal. Let's just talk about the issues as they stand. But yeah, the walk was challenging. But for me, you had to break it down. Often when I was going through recovery, I developed a CSF brain leak. My pituitary and thyroid had stopped working, and at the time I'd taken over the family farm. I'd bought out my uncle and taken on a huge scale and gearing, I suppose you would say, in working. And then I was basically in bed. I was bedridden for nearly 12 months. My muscles in my ears had stopped working, so I couldn't regulate sound. I couldn't even have tea with the kids because, the noise had hurt too much. So I'd get around in earmuffs, and then I started having night terrors every night. I didn't actually really know what fear was until I started then. And you'd wake up, and each night you'd sort of try and save your kids from new and creative ways of destroying your soul. But anyway, no, it's not. But it's not the end of the world, because there's lots and lots and lots of people who go through this stuff. I am not unique. With most people, I reckon 90% of people is below the water, a bit like an iceberg. You only see 10% of it, so I try not to judge people, because sometimes people are just having a shit day and sometimes they're just a shit person. But at the end of the day, that is just life. There's an Eastern philosophy that I love, and I came across it going through this stuff, because fighting such a big issue like water can be really demoralising. It actually wear people out and get quite despondent. But the philosophy is about life being a storm. So if you imagine a thunderstorm rolling down towards you, there's nothing you can do about it. It's coming whether you like it or not. Now, the choice is whether you're going to be the tree or the grass. I talk about the tree fighting the breeze. So you imagine a big tall gum tree trying to stop this storm. Its limbs get ripped off, the tree leaves get shredded, and you come out in the morning and it's just all over the place. You look at the grass, it went through the same storm unscathed. The only difference was, did it offer resistance? Or did it go with the flow? And that doesn't mean you don't fight against things that aren't right. You just got to get more creative. You know, for me, it doesn't matter whether what I do helps the water job or not. But if I don't do anything, nothing will change. And at least I can go on my life going, well, I followed my heart. I followed what I thought was right. I grew up with people who served people their whole lives. My grandmother's 95 and still lives on the farm and cooks with a wood stove.
I reckon she still chases you around with the whip.
But she is the matriarch. She is the most loving, compassionate woman who served her community her whole life. And she's hilarious. There is so much joy in her heart, even though the things she's been through. So I think you just got to find the things you enjoy. You're only here for a short time. Got to make the most of it.
Definitely. Wise words spoken by a wise man. And even though during that walk he didn't have a chance to shave, and poor Lauren didn't know whether she was married to Bear Grylls or Lloyd Polkinghorne.
I didn't drink my piss though. Sorry, Bear Grylls, sorry.
So, in other words, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of choices in life. You can either fight against the storm, or you can learn to roll with it and continue on and grow and prosper, like Lloyd. Without Lloyd getting out there and sacrificing his own body and his own mental health being and his own mental state with his ABI, and getting out there to support not only this community, the community you grew up in, and all other communities throughout the basin and around Australia through the water shortage, who else was going to do it? That's a question nobody will ever be able to answer. So, Lloyd Polkinghorne, I raise my hat to you. You're an outstanding gentleman. And you've done wonders not only for this community but every other community that you've done the walk for. Ladies and gentlemen, Lloyd Polkinghorne. Played Wembley, he's played other major stadiums around the world. He's from right here in homegrown Australia down at Ocean Grove. Multi-award winning platinum record holder. Friend of mine, friend of yours. Give it all up for Jason Singh.
Oh yeah!
Well, that's an intro. I'm not going to be able to top that. Superstar. Oh yeah, I'll call you a name that you think you are. Oh yeah, with eyes that see what they want to see. Oh yeah, ooh,
Give a big round of applause for Jason Singh from Taxi Ride. Now, one thing a lot of you might not know, Jason Singh has actually come on board as one of our ambassadors for the Australian Horizons Foundation and Beef It Up Australia project. Let's Get Rural. In other words, spread the word, mate. Is indeed. Huck Richards is also one of our ambassadors as well for the Australian Horizons Foundation. Huck was on here before he was a soloist. Next up we've got Flemmo. Give it up for Flemmo.
Yeah!
Much for a bloody great night from Jason Singh and Daniel. From Flemmo. From Huck. And a gigantic thank you to Lloyd Polkinghorn and the Barham Golf and Country Club for helping us put on tonight with Anita Dolan and the Australian Horizons Foundation.
Thank you, everybody. That's it. Oh, do the music. What's the music here?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I really don't mean to put a dampener on your night for such a really good night of entertainment by these three really great entertainers that we've had tonight. Just a quick word about mental health, because that's what it's all about. Mental health in the community. Doesn't matter what community, whether it's a city, country town, farmer's family. Mental health affects everybody. You want to know what mental health looks like? This is it. You can't see it. Nobody knows what mental health looks like. It's a silent, deadly disease. 12 years ago, I came out with a saying, I am strong, I'm a survivor, I will win. I've adapted that and I've lent it to the Beef It Up Australia campaign for the Australian Horizons Foundation. We are strong. We are survivors, we will win. My name's Timothy May. I know what mental health is like. I've got no less than 13 accounts of attempted suicide, ranging from 10 years old. Last attempt, October last year. I go out and I help with the campaign for mental health in the rural sector, rural communities, farmers, small towns like Barham, Moolameen, Blighty, all through New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia, wherever we go to help people. We go out, we do what we can, music, comedy, trivia, like tonight. Why? To give everybody one good night out. Take their mind off everything, get their mind off the stress of the farm, what's going on, the towns, the rivers, the waters. We've got one future only. That's our kids. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your kids. Do it for your grandkids. They're the future. They're the generations that's coming, that's going to build this world, build this country, build our towns, build our farms. Get behind them all. Build your kids, build them up. You got a reason to live? Live for your kids. Got a young lady here whose birthday is today. We've got people from far and wide. Why? Because they want a good night out. Not only for Huck, not only for Flemo, not only for Jace, but everybody come together for one reason, and that's to help everybody else. We go around from town to town surviving on donations from the town we've been to before. 1,000 paddocks campaign, $5 pays it forward to the next town. But the main reason we do this is raise awareness for mental health. There is none out there. There is no help for mental health except yourself. The greatest thing you can ever do to somebody suffering mental health of any sort, depression, anxiety, bipolar, doesn't matter. Don't pressure them to talk. You do more damage. Get there, knock on their door, take them to the pub, have a cordial, a coffee, a water, a beer, a wine, soft drink. Tap on the shoulder, say, I'm here for you, mate, whenever you're ready. Leave it at that. That does more good than harm, and then they're more likely to open up and say, I've got a problem. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for a good night.